Hey guys, Mike Deathbeam here once again, and today we're back again with some more Star Wars builds. So last video, we saw the Corellian Corvette. Well, now we're going to see another diplomatic ship. Boom! The Consular-Class cruiser, as it is called, and this is the Republic uh, refit to act like a frigate. So it has the 5 turrets, and then it has the blaster cannons up there because these are actually turbo lasers here to give a little punch to the heavier ships. Though they were light turbo lasers, so they wouldn't really do anything to something real heavy, but they could still be annoying. So again, I started with the engines just to try and set the scale, and I think they came out really well. And I used lava instead of sea lanterns because in the movie they have a very orange color to glow to them. And I'm like, you know what, lava will do that. So I thought that would be the best fit here. Because as you can see with the Corellian Corvette, I used the sea lanterns because that was really the closest to the color of there. So we used the lava here and just put glass. And yes, they're hollow. They aren't completely full of lava because that would just be too much work. Though I certainly could add some more. I could certainly add some stuff in here because it's just big and empty. But there really is no way of getting in there from the ship. And in Star Wars, this whole thing would have been an engine, so no one would have been in there anyways, so it wouldn't really make sense. So I built the turret here, and this one's actually bigger than the others because these ones are built too wide, and because these sections are fit better for the too wide, whereas this, in order to keep it in the middle, which is, I like doing it, it had to be 3 wide, which is fine because you'd probably want a slightly bigger one if you only have one covering the rear, you'd probably want that one to be slightly bigger because that was part of the Tantive 4's issue, is that it was kind of hard for its gun to, well, no, it actually didn't have any trouble getting past the engines, but this one, it's a little level with the engine, so if somebody's right behind the engines, you can't shoot it. So one will be slightly bigger to shoot anything bigger that's chasing it. So give it a little more punch. But yeah, so we also have the turrets down here. I didn't put any landing gear. I might, maybe I'll add it later. I'm not sure. But anyways, here are the dimensions for this ship. This ship is 25 blocks tall, 90 blocks long, and 37 blocks wide. And I looked it up, and in scale, this ship is 115 meters long, roughly. So I'm only 25 blocks off, and I saw that I was close. Like I'm not gonna rebuild it because I'd basically have to take down everything and rebuild the engines and rebuild everything. I was like, you know what, this is pretty close. Because the Corellian Corvette isn't scale; it's almost half. This one is like 2/3. Actually, I think it's more than it's more than 2/3, and I think it's more than 3/4, but oh well. I think it came out well. So it's 90 blocks long, 37 blocks wide. And so here's the weather. So this area where I've been building this stuff, it rains a lot. Like every Minecraft day, it rains at least once, if not twice. It does get a bit annoying. Now this is on the ship they had fixed blaster cannons on the front. So these are lighter, smaller guns than the turbo lasers. Hence why I use the end rods. Ooh, a little bit of lag. And I think it came out well. Like hopefully it comes across as it's supposed to be like turrets, but I just didn't want to make it as big because it wasn't as powerful. But if you guys have any ideas of what other blocks might be good to represent a blaster cannon instead of a turbo laser and something like this, make sure that you let me know because I just couldn't really think of anything else. Because putting a solid block makes it look the same size as the turbo laser. But then it is Minecraft, so we are kind of limited by that. So then I also included the pod here, which if you look at the cross section, you know that this pretty much this whole rounded part here in the bottom can detach and go away, because this is it was originally a diplomatic ship, and so so they would have had a lot of meetings and stuff in there, and then they would go away. So then you see the escape pods here, then the turrets. So this part was fun here, making the wings. Originally, is I had to wait to build this part until I built to the airlock, because in the pictures I used, it showed this wing part going into this corner here. So I'm like, oh, I gotta wait to build it. So I built out here. I actually ended up building the whole exterior of the ship, and then I had to add this. And at first I thought it was going to be difficult to copy it on the other side. It wasn't too hard, so I'm glad. And then we have the iron, not fence. What is it called? Iron bars. Yeah, iron bars. So we used that for the big antenna that this thing had. And then it had the radar dish up here. Then it had one up there. And I think it came out really well. So looks cool. Now let's go ahead and get in here. Boom. This ship is bigger, being that it's bigger. It's longer and wider and stuff, so I was able to make 2 floors in this. So this is the reactor room, and I just made this little overlook so they could kind of look at stuff. The engineering crew could look and see, hey, that reactor's blowing up. Wait, what? Ah, my leg! My leg! If anyone knows that reference, make sure you let me know. And it's not Star Wars, by the way. So, yeah. But, so we have the reactors. Yeah, the reactors. Couldn't think of what it was called. And I looked at the picture, and it showed these two being connected, and then part of it going back to the engines. So I went ahead and did this, and I used the sea lanterns just to kind of act like pipes taking the energy to the engines. So and I tried to make those of the reactors. I tried to make them as close as I could, and I think they came out pretty well. We have the black like going up, keeping it here. Decided to use the purple. Pretty sure it's called. Yeah, purple. Yeah, it's purple pillars, I do believe. And so I decided to use these just to add that extra detail to it. I think it looks okay. If you guys have another block that you'd recommend for this, make sure that you let me know, because I was looking at one of the pictures, and it had kind of like a bluish color, but not quite blue. So I think the purple fits that quite well. So we're going to go ahead and look at the bottom floor first. And if I recall from reading something up or listening to a video or something about this ship, they said that it was kind of roomy. So I just decided to leave this extra space here, and I have the blue carpet just to kind of add a little bit of that richness, or kind of, oh, can't think of a good word, but kind of the respectability, I suppose, being that it is supposed to be a diplomatic ship. So this here, this is the hallway, and this is just like the guest rooms and stuff. So they all pretty much look the same except for the end ones, because they have some extra space. But so guests and stuff, or I suppose during war you'd have clones and stuff in here, and that's what there would be. And then in here there's some extra room, so I turned this into the storage room, because you're gonna need stores, you're gonna need supplies, whether you're going to a diplomatic mission or not, or you're having some diplomats on board. You're gonna need to have food, and these barrels work out great, because if it were chest, it just wouldn't look as good. And I love how when you open it, there's that little circle like you're actually opening it. And then this is the crew quarters here. It's kind of out of the way, so you aren't in the way of the guests, but you're also where you can reach either way of the ship without actually going across the guest's hull. And so you have here a bit of space for the crew, and it's the same over here. So I think it came out pretty well, just doing it this way. And then upstairs, we'll go through that door in a bit. Upstairs is more of the work kind of meeting area. This is probably where this is more of an informal meeting area, and then this is a slightly more formal. Just, you have the carpet, you have the acacia wood, which is what I used. So just to kind of give it a little more fanciness. You just have a little meeting room here. Little meeting room. Yeah, I have some flowers. Oh yeah, because in this picture, in this room here, one of the pictures I looked at showed them having what looked to be some greenery. So I went ahead and used these logs and put some flower pots, and it really helps add a little bit of color. I decided to use lanterns here just to add a little more, just add a little bit of character, yeah, character to it. So then we come in here, we have this relax room. This is just a hallway that goes back here where it's a little more open. And we're back to the reactor room. Whoop. So we'll do there. And now we can go ahead and we'll just go down and go through there. And I like how the stairs kind of came out because you come through the airlock and you go up or down. Even though most supplies would be going down. So that's why there are two stairways going down here. We walk through here and then we can go to the pod, like the circular pod that can detach. And this is this. So this would have been the formal meeting area, the more secretive one that they would have had the higher diplomats in, like full meetings. And in one of the pictures, it showed kind of like a yellow or goldish color, so I just used gold blocks, and I think it came out really well. I really like how it came out, just with the acacia wood, then with just plants here, the prismarine blocks, and then the wood designs. I think it really adds a lot of character and really shows that this is a very formal, important meeting room, and I think it really fits what its purpose was. This was the main meeting room in the ship. It was meant to be nicer. So I think I really tried to add the details that kind of added more richness to it, like the wood, the prismarine, the gold, kind of the plants, and then the like chandelier. So I think it came out really well. And I really like how they have like the stripped logs, I think it is. Yeah, stripped. I really like because that can add some extra color because I'm pretty sure that's the stripped acacia. Yeah, that's a triptychation. That's the acacia with the bark. So I think it came out really well here. And I really like this one with like you have this, and then you can also see the rings of the tree. That looks really cool with that cross there. And yeah, so I think this came out really well. I'm really happy with it. We come out here, we go up, and then we can go up to the bridge. And I really wasn't sure what to do with this because this section, because there really isn't a whole lot of room. I could probably put some barrels or something, but if you guys have any ideas of what to put here, because if I break this, I'm outside, so I can't really do anything like that. But I think it came out well. Just having the stairs here. Don't know what to put here. So if you guys have any ideas, make sure you let me know that section. Then we're in the bridge. And it's a little more narrow than the Carillion Corvette, but I tried to use some of the same blocks because you're going to have people on here for communications and navigation. Then you have the captain up here with his map. You can look forward. Let me, whoop. Oh, wrong button. Time, set, day. Boop. Even though the night probably looked better. Oh well. But yeah, so we went ahead and did that, and I think it looks pretty cool. And I put this ship higher in the air than the Corvette because I saw the errors that I made with that one. So I said, well, you know what? I should probably fix that. But yeah, so I think this came out really well. I really like the look of it. I think it really has the feel of more of a diplomatic ship with the turrets and the turrets. The outside doesn't really look like a diplomatic ship, but this took on once it was outfitted, it was called aggressive negotiations. So it could defend itself, and then it could also be used in battle, but then it was still primarily used for diplomatic role. So it like for the rebels could use this for kind of like a kind of like flagship almost if they had a smaller ship fleet, because it has the meeting areas and stuff like that, so they could plan, and it had some decent firepower. More so than the Carillion Corvette, because you have these two turbo lasers, two on the bottom, and then you have one back here, and then you have the forward-facing blaster cannon. So it's got some decent firepower. Granted, in Star Wars on the 1-to-1 scale, the Carillion Corvette is like 35 meters longer, so it probably would have had, it may have only had two, the double blaster turbo lasers, but then I think it had single ones on some of the escape pods. So it may have had fewer of the turrets, but it's probably would have been more powerful. But still, this thing could hold its own for a little bit at least. Definitely not against a Star Destroyer, but something smaller. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any suggestions as to what to build next, or maybe to add anything more to this ship or to the Carillion Corvette, make sure that you let me know. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. So, yeah. Bye.